So hello everyone, and thank you guys for tuning back into another video. And what I'm going to be doing today is going over two trades that I closed out on Friday, which helped me end the week off in the green with an overall gain of just under 13%. And so far I have been having really good progress in this $100 challenge, and I have managed to put up green numbers every single week, and I look forward to continue doing so. But the two trades that I closed out on Friday were a AMD credit spread and a NFLX put. And if you guys saw the last video, you would have noticed that I had some AMD contracts that were going to expire worthless. But those contracts were actually legs of the credit spread which I had already closed. So I had actually made money on those, even though they were going to expire worthless. But if we go ahead and look at the history, we can see that on July 17, I tried to get filled at, I was trying to purchase 14 contracts at a limit of 0.09 credit. However, I was only able to get filled on 10 of those contracts. And so we missed out on some profit. But nonetheless, I was able to close out the trade 2 days later on July 18th, or no, actually 1 day later, and I was able to close it at 0.01 for a $80 win. And the next trade that I did was on NFLX, and what I noticed on NFLX was that after it reported earnings, which I believe was on Thursday, it had some pretty bad earnings, and we can see on the week, it's down almost 15% after it reported earnings. And so what I saw on Friday on NFLX was that it was getting rejected at the 325 resistance, and so I decided to scalp some puts, and I was able to make a quick and easy $50. We can go ahead and look at the trade history right here. I purchased a 325 at 495. And then I sold at 445, but we definitely left some profits on this one also. I traded it early in the morning around the open, so it was around 325. I said that I was trading it around 325 resistance, and if we would have held on a little bit longer, we would have definitely made a lot more money, because it ended up closing at 314. And if we go ahead and check the prices of the 325 options which we were trading, you can see that they're actually trading at $11.48. So we definitely left a lot of money on the table on this one. But like I always say, it's a lot better to make some profit than no profit. So overall, I can't complain. I'm pretty happy with this week. I came back from a loss earlier on Monday, and after a couple of good trades, I was able to end the week off with a 12% win. So now I'm going to go ahead and hop over to the TD Ameritrade charts and kind of go a little bit more in detail as to why I took the trades. We have the AMD chart, and what I noticed on this was that on Monday, it started to have a really big gap up. You see it was trading right around the 33 flat area, and right at market open, we saw this huge gap up all the way up to the 34.4 area. And so it continued to try to just trade right below the 34.50 area, and that acted as a really big resistance. And you can see it kind of traded sideways throughout basically the most of the day. It did, however, went on to break through that 34.50 area after hours, and so that's kind of what led me to believe that there might be a little bit of a gap up continuing. But you can see that upon Tuesday pre-market, it was having a lot of trouble maintaining the price above 34.5 area, and we can see that big downtrend start to happen after it crossed over the 34.5 area. And so after it dipped below that support area, it continued a downtrend, and it got as low as around the 33.9 area, which will become an important support in a bit. I'll show you guys. But after hitting that 33.9 area, you can see that it bounced, and it was able to consolidate and move forward and begin that uptrend again. it was able to break over that 34.50 area once again, and it continued its uptrend, this time reaching a new 52-week high of 34.86. However, it was not able to break over the 35 area, and that's kind of what led me to take this trade. And so, what I wanted to happen, and basically the way I took this trade, was that I bought a call credit spread that basically said that as long as the price of AMD stayed below 35, I was going to make money. And so I entered this trade on Tuesday morning around when the price of AMD was around 34.60. And you can see that right after around that top of 34.86, AMD was unable to break over that 35 area, and you could see that big downtrend begin to happen. And you see that second line that I was talking about, the 33.90, is really important because it continued to test it after it broke down the EMA, which is the green line. It kind of traded sideways, and once again on Wednesday morning, it was able to bounce off the 33.8 area right here, and it started to uptrend a little bit. But however, in a bigger picture, you see that that uptrend was not able to hold, and you can see that once again midday it was able to break through that 33.8 area, and it continued downtrend. And I ended up taking profits on Thursday because I didn't want to hold until Friday. Although if we did held on Friday, we can see that these options would have expired worthless, and this trade would have basically been at max profit. However, we profited around 75% or 80%, so we basically got almost all the amount of money that we could have made on this trade because it played out perfectly. You see that it was nowhere near the 35 area upon the expiration on Friday. And so this trade played out pretty well. And that's pretty much it for this trade. Now I'm going to go over to the NFLX trade and explain that one. So here we have the NFLX chart, and what I noticed was that on Wednesday, NFLX had its earnings, and you can see they were pretty bad. It had a huge drop. It was around a $50 drop. I think it was around 15%. And so I was waiting for NFLX to try to consolidate and maybe try to push up a little on the price and then continue to downtrend. And so on Thursday morning, I was looking at it and I saw that it had a decent sized bounce. It was trading around the low 320s, and it got as high as 329, and so it kind of hit a resistance around the 330 area. And you can see that it dropped down as low as 320, and this became support, as you will see in a bit. And so after it hit this 320 area, you can see it bounced right off it, and the next big candle, because we're looking at the 30-minute chart, so this would actually have been a smaller green candle shown up to the move, but the 10 days shows it a little bit better. But you can see that it bounced off this 320 support and it got as high as 325, and this is where I saw that it kind of started to top out around the 325 area, because you can see right after this big 325 move, it was around a $5 move. It began to downtrend, and it came down, and it once again started to consolidate around this 320 area. And so after that big move, that $5 move, it repeated that same exact move, because you can see that it downtrended all the way down to the 320.3 area, and once again it bounced off and it continued to uptrend. And so what I was looking for here was for it to hopefully reach the 325 area again, so I would be able to short it. And I was expecting the same play to happen, so I was expecting it to get rejected at around the 325 area. And so you can see that it played out exactly how I had planned. We see this nice big uptrend begin to build up, and then right here, right around the 325.50 area, you can see it starts to top out. And if we zoom in a little bit more, we can see that all these candles right here were around the same area. You see there's a huge support around the 325 huge resistance around the 325.50 area. It just wasn't able to cross. And so this is where I began to look at it, and I actually opened my trade a little bit before the 325.50 area. I opened it around the 325.30 area. So we were down at a couple dollars, But then once it reached that 325 area, or 325.50 area, it got immediately rejected, and you can see that big red candle begin to form around the 325 area, and you can see it dropped around the $3 very quickly. And so this trade played out pretty well, and we were able to get a nice rejection of the resistance line, and that's how we were able to profit so quickly. But that's pretty much it for this trade. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one.